Gentlemen.
Gentlemen. Richard?
Hey guys.
Oh.
Hey, did you guys see the beautiful slideshow I have right here going on?
I do. I did. Bill's not impressed. Bill, you look like shit once again.
Wow.
What's the matter, baby?
Yeah, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Barely keep your eyes open.
Do you think he's upset because he can just see glimpses of the game behind me, and I haven't put it on the screen to my left where he can get distracted?
Uh-huh. Bill,
Honestly,
you know
I could care less about football today, and it's so heartbreaking.
Poor old guy. But the good news is Bill's in.
Yeah, why don't you call up your Valentine and make you feel better?
I might.
Now, in days and times past, that would have meant something like, a package of cocaine and some bullets and a whore. But now, no. Now that life is in the past.
Well, the bullet part is still in the present, but all the other stuff, the hoo-has and the cocaine, thing of the past.
Thing of the past. The queen is shaping up.
I did go down Elm Street to look for the streetwalkers, aka Tinder whores, to draw pictures and maybe get some notes from them. Bill got the word out too quick. I couldn't find a single one of them.
Why would I ever fuck any Elm Street hoo-has? I only go to high-class hoo-has, okay?
He's got that track, the track texting phones, the flip phones. He sends them *69, and they know. Don't talk to anybody.
No, pagers. They all have pagers. I just page them 911. They know how to keep their yap shut. Clench those, baby.
Is that where the information comes from?
Keister them phones up there.
Easter. Blame it on the P.
Well,
yeah, thank you for cheering us up, Bill. Today was a day of mourning as the 2021 Patriots finally bid us adieu with a really fucking terrific win over the Jets, 28-14. So we'd like to talk about it. Let's talk about the season, maybe a little bit into next season. Vent, whatever you need to get off your chest about the 2020 New England Patriots. That's what today's about. Welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show. Fat Tuesday, good riddance, 2020 Patriots. Welcome to the show. Woof. Woof, 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 woof.
Let's see if Bill's take changes now that Rich yelled at him earlier.
What do you think of Cam Newton's day today, Bill?
Oh, splendid. See what happens when they let him throw?
I still think it was an okay game for him.
Yeah, you glad it ended on a happy note for Cam?
No,
starting
I'm just glad it ended.
This fucking Week 17 game that
I'm
no
just
one gives
glad
a
it
shit
ended.
about.
Against
I'm just glad it
that
ended.
2-win Jets.
I'm just glad it ended. I didn't want to see Cam today. I texted you in the third quarter. Why the fuck aren't we seeing Stidham?
Classic snip snap time for him. Hey, dumb fuck! You look like my 2-month-old kid with your eyes glazing and glistening back.
She has too.
You're like, fuck, Bill. That's a new beep.
Oh, that hurt my head. Jesus Christ, Bill.
Oh shit!
You got to beep that?
Well, he said the correct word.
Yeah, but it's not true.
Well.
Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God!
Never got tested.
Either way, whatever is wrong with you, you're very easily distracted. I get that we have a very important bet on. Should we pause the show and watch these games and see who wins?
I'll shut it off.
How close is it right now? Like, is it the Rams? You win the Rams game.
Vegas is close.
Vegas is very close.
So what's going to determine it?
Vegas and the Rams.
If Vegas and the Rams, if I win those, I win outright. Right now we're tied.
So what? And then if it's the tied, it goes to spite picks.
Yeah,
we never decided that.
We got to figure it out.
If it's a tie, it goes to spite picks. Deciding.
We never figured that out. Fuck
two,
whatever.
Two against one.
It's not early lines right now. It's Patriots Fat Tuesday. So stop. But the point is to stop fucking getting distracted. We're here to lament on goddamn Cam Newton and how shitty he's been, and the fact that people were okay in asking the question, where has this offense been as the Patriots put up 28 points against the lifeless 2-win Jets in Week 17, and Cam Newton caught a pass. Whee! Yippee! And then he fucking smiled into the in the stands where there are no people there. There's no one there, Cam. Who you Supermaning to? God damn it. Even as much as I respect what he has done off the field and how professional he's been in a terrible situation, that like the celebrating after touchdowns still bugs me. Like, you suck. Your team sucks. You missed the play. What do you celebrate? Just go get better. What the fuck? So that was today. Pretty much locked them in for probably 15th, 14th seed. Mm-hmm. Let's dial it back a little bit. Let's rewind to the very, very beginning of the season. Did this New England Patriots team ever have a chance at succeeding, Raymond?
Up to week 5 against the Broncos. After that loss, they went on a 3-game skid, a 4-game losing streak. So, yeah, once that happened, that was the first game back for Cam after COVID. And he had a 7 for 25 day, 157 yards and 2 interceptions, and hasn't looked good since. So week 5 is when I finally decided this is it. This is the Cam Newton experience. Is not going to work out.
That was a bad game. Bill, did the 2020 Patriots ever have a chance of succeeding? And by succeeding, I mean, let's call it making the playoffs.
No, you had the number 1 hardest schedule entering the league based off winning percentages last year. You know, I mean, you just look at with Cam Newton, I guess maybe in the beginning where you thought he was okay, but when you actually saw it on the field, you realized you had no shot. You know, he hasn't been good all year. Then COVID happened, and he's been terrible since COVID. You know, you didn't have a chance all year. You know, 8-8. I think we all said best. Probably I picked him 8-8 this year, and I thought that would be successful, but no.
Well, I think after the Seattle game, Bill might have had him at 11 or 12 wins, pushing, winning the division.
I mean, I did predict them to win out at one point, but no.
Snipsats has a certain way of always being right in his own.
You figure that out now? You figure that out now? I figured that out. Let's go back to July when he was cheering for Cam Newton to be on this team.
There you go.
I never said that he would do good.
Beautiful.
I was happy for Cam to be on and then you see him on the field is what I said, or what I just said. You saw him on the field and you go, okay, this guy's got nothing. But he physically can't throw anymore. That shoulder is fucking junk. Move to tight end, be a fucking running back, but your days of quarterback are over.
You know where the wheels fell off this season? When Bill showed his erection on camera when the breaking news they signed Cam Newton. Wheels went off. Completely fucking off. I'm not saying Jared Stidham could have got them to the playoffs, but what I am saying is the shit show that revolved around Cam Newton and the offense and Bill Belichick. Should he sit him? Should he not sit him? He's not playing well enough. Why isn't Stidham? All of that caused more turmoil than it should have, and that it would have if Cam Newton was not here. And it's undisputed that Cam Newton didn't work. It's undisputed that Cam Newton is a bottom 3 quarterback in the league. Facts tell us those things. He has 5 fucking touchdowns on the season and 13 interceptions.
But how many rushing touchdowns does he have?
He threw one today.
I'm sorry. He threw 2 today. He had 7 touchdowns, 2 against the Jets in Week 17. If Stidham threw those touchdowns, we would have said they didn't count. So, he ran for about 500 yards, 4 yards a clip. It's the most he's ever run in his career. You know why? Because he physically couldn't throw the fucking football, and Bill Belichick refused to sit him. So that's when the wheels fall off. They never had a goddamn. I picked them to win division. Half-heartedly, I picked them to win the Super Bowl. That was before Cam, I think.
That was
whatever. I was clearly whatever. Fucking whatever. Hold it against me. I was drunk. They didn't have a chance. They didn't have a chance. Bill, Ray, did you have something to say?
Yeah, Bill, how do you feel that Cam Newton broke Steve Grogan's record? I know you were in the stands that day when he set the all-time franchise quarterback rushing record. How do you feel about Cam Newton?
What was that, Sullivan Stadium?
Yeah, or Harvard Stadium. Which one was that at?
They haven't played at Harvard Stadium since the 60s.
I know, but you were there too.
Steve Grogan's the most overrated Patriot of all time.
Bill is just eating Pop Rocks and soda pop.
Yep.
Having a grand old time.
10 cents a can.
Yeah, and
Recy- Oh, Bill.
Oh, Bill, Jesus Christ, man. Billy Badwards is out in force here at Fat Tuesday. I'm going to have to listen to every single word of this. Look.
Eric Henry, 2,000 yards.
No one cares. We're talking about Patriots
I don't
today.
care. It just popped up.
What is your temperature on Bill Belichick right now after the 2020 season in the way that you saw him manage it? Just let me leave it open-ended. What's your temperature in Bill Belichick, Bill?
I mean, he needs to put in more work. He can't be taking phone calls in free agency in some tropical island with Linda in a bikini. That shit can't happen.
Nice.
You know, Nike, his fucking dog making picks for him. That shit can't happen. You need to be all in this year. You know, I think you're going to see, you heard rumblings our favorite Monday night crew, Louis Riddick, said he's pretty pumped going into this season. I think going in, it was kind of a throwaway season. Again, if you think back to their last one in 2000, it was the same situation that they're up against the cap. They just try to bring a lot of these young free agents in there, undrafted guys to kind of manage that. You're coming in the offseason with a shit ton of money and you're loaded in draft picks. So, I mean, my temperature is pretty good on him. I think he's going to rebuild his team fairly well. Maybe not a playoff team next year, but you're going to see something better this year.
8 guys opted out. New quarterback under center. You had a lot of young guys feeling what he could do with what he had with this team. So, yeah, like Bill said, I think he did great with what he had to deal with. So, yeah, going into next season, I think we will have COVID as an excuse. He's going to have all this time. Hopefully he does the right thing in drafting. Hopefully he does the right thing in free agency. And hopefully 2021, we're back in the playoffs.
You pussies.
Thank you.
He did the best he could with what he had.
I never said he did the best he could.
There it is.
You fucking.
I did not say it. I just said my temperature on him going forward is good. I
this
never said.
Fucking guy, dude.
Run the fucking tape back. I said going forward. I never said, oh, he did a great job with what he had. No.
Rich, you're going to have to start answering these questions first, and then
okay.
Fucking go back. I never said he did the best he could. I said my temperature is good going forward. That was the fucking question that was asked. That's the way I fucking answered it, Ray.
Bill, watch my lips. Repeat after me. Bill Belichick sucks.
Bill, go ahead. Go ahead, Bill.
No, Bill Belichick does. Bill Belichick does not suck. I think that as a coach, he did an adequate job with what he had, but he gave himself what he had. I think that he, like Bill said, Nike's making picks as Bill's getting jerked off on the, in Mar-a-Lago by Linda in a bikini. So, does this shitty season motivate him to get more involved and prove everyone wrong that says it was just about Tom? Hopefully that's the motivation that he needs to kind of reinvent himself or reinvigorate himself. But in terms of this season, if we're talking about this season, I'm pissed. It seems like he fucking quit. Seems like he quit. Seems like he made a deal with Cam Newton that they were going to revive his career, and that's all he was focused on. And him and letting Steve Belichick run his fucking defense. It seemed like an organization, and it has seemed like an organization with the Tom Brady Palace coup and whatever the fuck else you want to call it, that has been dysfunctional. Frankly, he's just that good that they can kind of get past it with their play on the field. So I'm not very high on Bill Belichick right now. I think he quit. I think he very easily could have made the playoffs this year if there was a little bit more focus and a little bit better coaching.
And
I think that very easily could have happened.
And Super Bowl, like you predicted.
Maybe. I mean, look at Denver. You shouldn't lose to Denver. You win that game, you're walking into a different – either way, we can go back and analyze every single game if we want, but I think a lot of it falls on Bill Belichick and his preparation or lack thereof. As soon as COVID hit, I think he basically said, fuck this. Like – we're not going to be able to do anything, and I know my roster sucks. In the interview with Charlie Weiss, when he blamed it on the goddamn salary cap, I mean, come on, Belichick, be better than that. Where does this rank in your most disappointing Patriot seasons you have witnessed? Bill, try to keep it to the last 20 years. I don't want to hear about the 1972 shitbag Patriots that finished 1-15. Actually, what year did they finish 1-15? They finished 1-15.
92.
90. No, right before they got Bledsoe.
Yeah, they dropped Bledsoe in 93.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, Bill. You were much older than I.
Don't question Rain Man.
I'm sorry. I was only 7'8" at the time. You were 28 at the time. So yeah, you should.
You're older than me, you fucking prick.
Can I answer
Got
this?
too much
So
water
Bill,
on your brain
Yeah,
to
yeah.
figure it
Answer
out?
this so Bill can take your take. Go ahead.
no, it wasn't the most disappointing. Last year was the most disappointing. This year was not because the expectations were so low. It might have been the most frustrating. Maybe last year is pretty much top of the list for worst seasons. Brady obviously not want to be here. Their offense was nothing like we had seen before. They were supposed to defend a championship. It started off gangbusters, and then you could see the wheels coming off right after that Baltimore game. So last year is at the top of the list for most disappointing, frustrating seasons for me as a whole. I mean, I guess if you don't count 07 losing perfect season.
05.
cap it
05
off.
when you lost to the Colts in the playoffs when you should have been going to the Super Bowl
was
beating the
06.
Bears.
06, right?
The 05, 06 season, sorry.
No, it was
No,
the
it was
06
06.
season.
It was the
05,
06
you
season.
lost to Denver. Was that Champ Bailey
Uh-huh.
and Ben Watson? That was
Uh-huh.
2005. You lost to
Yep.
Jake Plummer in Denver.
Folks,
Uh-huh.
game 2
I'm not
for
trying to
Southern
bad
Trash
cop
Can.
you, Ray.
No,
but you fucking,
no.
You
I'm setting up the
decided
game
to
show. I'm setting up the
argue
game
with
show.
me and
I'm setting up the
Bill.
game show. Setting up the game show.
Got
Are you
it.
smarter than a trash can? Send up game number 2. If you think you're smarter than Bill, please send in your applications.
What?
SimpleMindSportsShow@gmail.com.
What year did the Patriots blow a 21-3 lead against Indianapolis, going to go and demolish Rex Grossman?
2006.
There you go.
No,
2006 was the most disappointing for you, Ray?
No, 07, obviously. This is the perfect season. That's most disappointing to me.
Yeah, see, I couldn't go that direction because watching
I'll
them
give you
cover
one.
23-point spreads on the regular during that season was awesome. Was fucking awesome. The revenge tour after Spygate, just completely shoving it down everyone's throat. Now, obviously, the ending of it, I couldn't watch sports for 6 months. So
Exactly. So how is that not the most disappointing? Yeah.
No, but I'll tell you that Baltimore game on Sunday night in Baltimore with the Rex Ryan timeout when you stopped him on 4th down.
Rex
Oh my
Ryan?
God.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Rex Ryan went on the
Oh,
field,
he's
called
a-
timeout.
Defensive coordinator for Baltimore. I apologize.
Yeah, and he fucking stopped him, and then Brady, boom, right after that, and then they got the penalty, and then the fuck was Jabbar Gaffney touchdown, dude. That fucking season was awesome. Yeah, it was disappointing. I'll give it the biggest one for me, 2010, 14-2. You beat the Jets 45-3 at home. It was a tomato game in the divisional round of the playoffs, and you shit an egg. Like, it was pathetic.
All of those sayings are off just a little bit.
All right, I'm high. Leave me alone.
They're off just a little.
I'm glad you were picking up too. Yeah. I've never heard that.
Tomato King. All right. Look, I think all disappointing endings is how I would classify what you're saying. This whole season from, I guess, game 3. Game 1, we were pleasantly surprised about the offense of Cam Newton, and they beat the Dolphins. Game 2, they barely lost to Seattle, but it looked like they had something. And then from then on out, it was just a giant what the fuck is going on. It's the year after Tom Brady. Everything is in question. Where is this franchise going? It's the first year they haven't had 10 wins in, check me, Rain Man, since 2002, where they had 9.
9-7.
First time they've had a losing record since the year Bill took over in 2000.
Almost
So
NFL record, 19.
which Belichick wanted to be in the record books for that and beat the Cowboys.
He's chasing Shula too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, of course. Though every win's important. So yeah, 07 not getting perfect seed. Yes, devastating. Sure. 2010 blowing that game that you should have won against the Jets. Yeah, but you went 14-2 the entire season. You were gangbusters. You had 17 weeks of awesomeness. This whole season for 5 months has been a slog. Has just been a draining experience as a Patriots fan. And last year for me was worse because the back end of it was the same way, except you could see the end of Brady coming, and it was devastating. It was
when it was 8-0, you saw it coming.
It just sucked. It sucked. The past 2 years have sucked. So they're both at the top of the list for me as a Patriots fan. I mean, I guess you go back to the Pete Carroll years, but expectations set everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at, I found myself watching it different this year because we kind of all knew we didn't really have a chance. You know, and it's like you're trying to see what you have going forward with some of the young guys.
Pause this and then put the Cam Newton signing and Bill jumping up and down, being excited. Go ahead, Bill.
This is, dude.
Never-
I went back on
you
that
are
take. I went back on
never
that.
going
I
to
went
live
back
that
on that take in fucking training camp. though.
Yeah, and then you went back on it, and then you went back off it.
Billy snip snaps.
Billy snip snaps.
You were on, you were off.
I think after Seattle, he tempered his expectations of Snapchat by saying something like Cam Newton might be the fucking MVP. That might have come out of his mouth. I'm not sure, but at some point in time, he said that the Patriots are going to win out with about 8 or 9 games left. So, yeah, you jumped off that take, but you jumped right back on about 6 or 7 times.
Hey, he was the best quarterback that they had this year.
Jesus.
Fuck you, Bill. Fuck you, Bill.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Jacoby Myers is the best quarterback they had this year. They just didn't give him a chance.
Yeah, true.
Julian Edelman was also 2 for 2, so suck on that. Well, that good segue. What was the thing you hated most about this season? Do you want me to go? Cam fucking Newton.
All right. Bill's gonna say Cam Newton now too.
It's okay. I can come up with something else.
Can I go? This blah product they put on the field. Watching this run, not passing, only passing for 69 yards 1 week. Nice. Jake Bailey being the most exciting thing for me to watch, watching him fucking kick the ball 60 yards down the field. Nick Folk not having to pray anymore and him being automatic for once. This defense sucked. This offense sucked. I hated watching this product. It was boring. I loved how it was only like 2 hours and 45 minutes because the games were so fast because they kept running the fucking ball. But yeah, this product, I hated watching this product that they put on the field.
Good one, Bill.
I mean, Cam Newton.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's been the worst quarterback in the league all year, statistically and everything. You had you're the 28th ranked red zone offense. Like the offense of a whole has just been abysmal. It's been terrible. It's not just Cam Newton; it's everybody. Like it's the whole offense in general has been just atrocious.
Except for your boy Sweetness.
Like when he's on the field, he can't stay on the fucking field. He just missed the last 3 games with an ankle injury. Broke his pinky in training camp. Missed the first 3-4 games. I mean, he's like, I don't want to compare him to Sony Michel, but he shows flashes of talent. But you got to stay on the fucking field.
Yeah. All right. Let me go a little deeper. I hated the instability in the what's the word I'm looking for? Just there's no hope. There's no looking forward. There's no building on this team. Everything was in the now, and the now sucked. And there's no future that we can look forward to or positives that we can go, oh, well, we can build on that. Every single week, it was just, is Cam going to start? Could he get better? Then it was a definitive no. And then it was, aren't they doing something different? There's nothing to build on. And that was really fucking frustrating after, whatever loss you want to call it. I guess the Rams, technically. When they blew out San Diego, it was like, all right.
We got a chance.
Maybe they can do something with some help. And then the Rams stomped on them. And they got stomped on pretty much every week since until the Jets. Maybe the Jets. So that was mine. There's no fucking hope. Hope is dead.
You go down a dark fucking road there,
I know, but I'm going to flip it on you real quick.
All right.
Speaking of sweetness, what were your bright spots this season or bright spots in the roster? Who are your bright spots in the roster? Just give me some happy. Give me some. Let's go to Ray first because, Bill, I know it's hard for you to conjure up that amount of that type of energy and emotion. So, Ray, Jolly Dr. Big Mac, what made you happy this year?
Watching Sweetness, knowing that we can move on from Sony Michel and probably Rex Burkhead since he's probably not going to be able to ever play football again.
Ooh, rest in peace, Rex Burkhead.
Chase Winovich filling in that role for Kyle Van Noy in that outside linebacker role. That was a nice bright spot. Jacoby Myers, I mean, he's not going to be a first wide receiver, but being a third, fourth wide receiver on this team would be a bright spot if we have a quarterback that actually can throw him the ball. And obviously my boy, Jake Bailey, best punter in the league. Watching that kick every week. Oh, beautiful.
Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowler. Put some respect on
respect on that fucking name.
Bill?
Jacoby Myers, I think, has been the brightest spot on the team this year. I mean, he couldn't really crack the roster with Brady. Well, the lineup with Brady because he ran one bad route, and you heard Brady said, "Get this guy off the fucking field," and he literally never saw the field again. But you kind of see it. He's capable, I should say, wide receiver. The third, yeah, he's a number 3 wide receiver on this team. I think you saw some chemistry with Cam. He was the go-to guy. He was basically the only guy on offense outside of like Harris. I thought was good outside of fucking Anunwa, whatever his stupid name is on the offensive line. It's an offensive lineman.
God,
You know,
you're so cranky when you're high like this. Jesus
God.
Christ.
sorry, but yeah, Jacoby Myers. He's been the brightest spot on the team outside of our kicking game. Truthfully.
Yeah, I'm not putting the kicking game in any bright spot if that's what you're relying on.
Come on, think about Philadelphia when we were all holding hands, hoping that fucking Nick Folk would make a field goal. Now he's automatic.
It would be great if the kicks meant anything.
Well,
they're losing kicks; they're not winning kicks.
You can't have everything.
One more
you can't have everything.
On the defensive side is J.C. Jackson. I know he's not a number 1, but he's a very good number 2. Finished set number 2 in the NFL in interceptions with 9.
What kind of voodoo shit is he getting though to have those ducks just coming to him?
He should have had another one last week too if it wasn't for
they're all ducks though that
he
keeps getting these ducks, just easy ones right to him.
He's just around the ball. I mean, 9 picks. It's nothing to sleep on. I mean, he's
Ty Law for most of franchise history in one season. So yeah.
Xavier Howard's the only guy that had more. He had 10, and he had 4.
I said franchise, Bill.
I know what you said. I said he was number 2.
Xavier Howard had one today too. So, they put him in
first guy. He's the first guy since Champ Bailey, I think, that had double-digit interceptions.
Champ Bailey had 12, I believe, right?
2008, I think.
Yeah.
I think you guys picked them all out in terms of bright spots on the roster. Like I said, my most disappointing thing was there's no hope, and there still isn't. There's nothing from a team perspective. The best thing that we can hope for is this motivates the roster, that Bill Belichick and his team to go out there and be excellent in this offseason. That's it. It was a shitty fucking year. I don't have anything. There's no fans. It was weird watching. It was all just kind of a mundane product, from the play on the field to the TV experience to you have a shitty team, so you get shitty announcers.
Today was the worst, too. Jay Feely and that other guy, that other boob. Oh, fuck. That was terrible to listen to.
Oh, God, yeah. I was just listening to music most of the time trying to watch that game. I just can't. These guys are just so bad. They're just so fucking bad.
Yeah. You get the F squad in fucking these games. It's terrible.
We're not used to this. We're not fucking used to this, and it's driving me crazy.
I'll say something. The brightest spot of this year was being able to share my misery with you two fine gentlemen.
Oh.
Several days a week. That was nice.
That was nice. That was very nice. I enjoyed it.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said to us, Rich.
Yeah, you're welcome. Moving on to the off season, unless you guys have any residual thoughts on 2020 in itself.
Nope. But I got to stand for a moment because I got to fart and I don't want it to go into my chair. Excuse me.
What the fuck is wrong with this kid?
Dude, I had a bad – I don't know if the chicken wings I ate were bad, but oh, man.
I did see –
just your diet in general.
Well, probably, but this basement just stinks right now. Ugh. Kelly came down, gagged. Ugh.
She's probably gagging your fucking stupid haircut.
Oh, well, Bill, suck my dick. Anyways, go ahead, Rich.
It's fine. No problem. Looking forward, in terms of percentage of importance, rank these. The draft, free agency, and internal progression on the roster. Raymond?
I think drafting is the most important thing. Belichick struck out the past several years, so getting the young guys that you need on this roster, because they're obviously cheap players that you can get on this roster by drafting them, I think that's very important. Obviously, second would be free agency, more expensive guys, but you know what they're worth, like a Hunter Henry that we're trying to say that we should get for tight end. And then player progression. I mean, you have a lot of young guys on this team. They have to take that next step, but that's how I'd go. 1, 2, 3, draft, free agency, player progression.
Bill?
I'm going with free agency as my number 1 because, again, I bank more for the sure thing. You know, you have your number 3 or number 4. I think you're projected $60 million in cap space. Go out and build through free agency, and then you sprinkle in the draft. So I have my draft at number 2. You know, then that's where you're going to put some nice, impactful young talents, but spend the money in free agency. That's where you're going to build this team the quickest and compete for the division title. Again, if you're going long term, I think draft would be number 1, but you can build this team now. This is the offseason to get back into contention with the amount of money you have. And then number 3 would be internal progressions for me. Again, you need some of these younger guys to start making the year 2 and 3 live, especially Josh Uche, who Bill just called out, like I think in his press conference, saying we didn't put him in the best positions. Now we have him the full offseason with him, training camp, to put him in to put him in the best positions that he succeed. So, I mean, that's where I have them at number 3.
Rich, I have breaking news real quick.
Go ahead. Oh,
with all the games played now, it's official. The Patriots have the 15th pick in the 2021 draft.
There we go. We called it. Let me differentiate my picks for you guys. Mine is free agency. Your number one job this year is to get a quarterback that can get you to the playoffs. You're not doing that in the draft at the 15th. Thank you, Ray, for that breaking news. That's not happening. You don't have the capital to move up, and I don't have faith in a rookie quarterback doing that in the NFL right now anyway, unless his name is Peyton Manning in 1999. So, who had the most interceptions ever from a rookie. So that shows you how bad rookie quarterbacks are. Go out. If it's Jimmy Garoppolo, it's Jimmy Garoppolo. Matt Stafford, we've kind of gone through these. Actually, let me give you a couple. This is from Jeff Howe in the Athletic, who outlined everything that you want to know about the Patriots offseason, essentially. Let me eliminate a couple of these fucking guys, first of all. Matt Ryan. I know a lot of people have kind of been pinning Matt Ryan, who the Falcons need to reboot and retool. However, if they cut him or trade him, they're in a similar position with the Eagles. They get tacked on $9 million to a $23 million cap hit. So I understand the idea of the Falcons needing to start over, but he's only got 2 more years on his deal after this. If you're going to draft a young quarterback, just let him learn under Matt Ryan instead of eating that cap space. And then Carson Wentz, who wants out of Philly, is $70 million cap hit if they trade him. It's
over
not
2
happening.
years. Then over 2 years, it's 50
but
this year.
It's not fucking happening.
No, that's not happening. I think the most realistic one. If that's where you're going, I think Stafford and Garoppolo are the most realistic options.
So you're looking at Stafford. Sorry to interrupt you. He's got again Jeff Howe here, $20 million cap hit in 2021, $23 million in 2022, which is super reasonable for a quarterback. He'll be 33. He's got injury history. Garoppolo's got injury history. The only reason these guys are available is because there's something wrong with them. I trust Bill Belichick, like you said, Bill, with a proven commodity that has had success in the NFL. And if you want this team to be moderately to extremely successful next year, you have to start at the quarterback position. If Schefter's right, they've already moved on from Cam Newton. If Belichick's right, they've already moved on from Stidham. They're starting from scratch. You can't do that with a rookie quarterback, even if you somehow land in the top 5 through some kind of trade. I don't trust that. So free agency lands at the top of the list. That and some type of pass catcher. Hunter Henry as a tight end, Chris Godwin as a wide receiver. They're never going to pay that money, but some type of pass catcher to book to be at the top of your depth chart on your offense, because right now you have nobody in that number one spot.
I'll give you one right now. Corey Davis, free agent out of Tennessee, hasn't lived up to the first round hype. I think he went number 5 or 7 to Tennessee. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option. He's going to be a free agent. You could probably get him in the $8 or $9 million range, which in my eyes are the wide receivers that you're going to target. I mean, you look at what you're paying Edelman, 9.3 I think he got this year. So if you look at that, him, Marvin Jones, who has more touchdowns than anybody outside of Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill the last 6 games, he can probably be in that same $8 or $9 million range. Might get overpaid, but those are the guys you're going to target in the wide receiver. I don't say draft him this year because Bill sucks at it. Pay the money, get some wide receivers, and especially tight end Hunter Henry. Pay whatever it costs to get him. That's the guy you need to get. Surround him with any of these retread quarterbacks. The Stafford, I get it. He's injury prone the last couple of years, but he's a perfect quarterback for this offense. He gets rid of the ball quickly. You're actually going to surround him with a good offensive mind in Josh McDaniels and the best coach of all time. He's had shit in Detroit. He's never had a nice organization where he's could really built around him. They've been surrounded him with nobodies. He's had 6 head coaches in his fucking 12 years in the league.
That, again, the free agency is super important. Tight end's a super important position for this team, for this offense. Hunter Henry is the name out there. I like Jonnu Smith out of Tennessee. I would be hard. I think it's hard pressed to see him leaving Tennessee. They probably bring him back there. But there's guys out there on the mid-range like Gerald Everett, Jared Cook, Trey Burton, even retreads like Greg Olson that could land at a pass.
He's going to Fox. He's done.
Jesus fucking Christ, you assholes! I landed 6 guys, and one of them you fucking just shut the fuck up and listen for 2 seconds. Just shut up and listen for 2 seconds. The point is, free agency is at the top of the list because you need to make an immediate impact on your roster starting next year. That's why the draft won't do it, because they're young. And Patriots and Belichick does not have a track record of rookies impacting the game heavily in their schemes. We saw it last 2 years. Took Chase Winovich this amount of time. Josh Uche barely got there towards the end of the year. So draft is at the bottom. Internal progression is in the middle for me. Those young kids on defense need to progress and fill those roles. In free agency, you need to fill a linebacker role, a pass catching role, and a quarterback role. Free agency, internal progression, then the draft. Then go stack your roster with young kids that can learn for a year and then hopefully progress. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Do you want to blah me anymore on anything?
Can I give you one more quarterback?
No.
Dak Prescott. Fuck you.
No. Dak Prescott's not coming to the Patriots. 2 reasons. He's going to be franchised or signed by the Cowboys, and Bill Belichick is not paying anybody $30 million to play fucking quarterback for him.
He's going to get 40.
He's got no leg. Cam Newton, do you believe the report? He's gone? 100%?
Yeah,
100%.
So.
Okay.
In the words of Bill, 100%.
100%. This was an interesting one because I've heard different things, and we're running out of time. We're up against it here, so try to be quick. What are your thoughts on Josh McDaniels' performance this year, and do you consider him gone to a head coaching position?
Working with a guy that can't throw the ball, I think he did very well. Scheming it up, making him have run plays and run quarterback options, and like even dumbing it down to like a college offense pretty much with the RPOs. But yeah, I think 100% he's gone this year because Belichick ain't going anywhere anytime soon. And I think there's going to be a job that just is so good that he's not going to be able to say no to.
Bill?
I think he did a serviceable job. I think he wasn't the best this year, but again,
very sultry.
No, but again, he didn't have much to work with. Again, you have a quarterback, you can't throw the ball. I think he did the best that he could to put Cam in situations to not expose him. And you've seen a lot of, especially on third down, when you see a lot of design run plays on third down because he can't throw the football. If you had a quarterback that could throw the football, I would probably give him a higher grade. But for right now, I mean, he was okay.
I think he did fucking awesome. They couldn't throw the goddamn ball. They're one of the best running teams in the NFL when everybody knew they could only run the ball. I thought he did awesome. The gadget plays that he drew up, whenever they ran them, they basically worked. I give Josh McDaniels all the credit in the world. He basically had to completely flip what he was trying to do. They turned into a power team from the 1960s. It sucked to watch, but when you're given a pile of shit and you turn it into a lesser pile of shit, you got to give someone credit, and that credit goes to Josh McDaniels. He's been a leading mind in the NFL for a long time offensively. A lot of that credit goes to Tom Brady, rightfully so, but I thought this year proved that he could do a lot with a little, especially from a guy that likes –
This is the year he's gone to.
Yeah, San Diego.
It's a good spot.
Is that fucking gremlin from New York coming here, Ray? Adam Gase?
Mm-hmm.
That's the report. Belichick loves him.
All right, we're running out of time. So quickly, are the Patriots fucked in the AFC East with the Dolphins and Bills? And do you have them back in the playoffs 2021? Bill?
If you have a good offseason, you're better than the Dolphins, especially if they stick with Tua, because obviously we all agree he's not the guy there. The Bills are for real. They're 12-3. 13-3 now they finished. They're for real. Josh Allen played at MVP level this year. He's looked better and better every single year. And the biggest thing with him that improved was his accuracy. He completed almost 70% of his passes. He threw and rushed for 36 touchdowns, and I think he had 9 rushing touchdowns too. He was fucking incredible this year. So I mean, that's you're fighting for the playoffs. You're fighting for the division. But if Buffalo keeps improving like this, I mean that team's a scary team right now.
Here's what I'll say about Josh Allen and my Buffalo Bills. This is more from Greg Bedard, who knows more about football than all of us put together. Talked a lot about and has written a lot of articles about Josh Allen and going back, and he was one of the worst quarterbacks in completion percentage in 2019 to now one of the best quarterbacks in completion percentage in 2020, and that simply does not happen in the NFL. And a lot of that success is credited to Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator.
Daboll puts him in a lot of good spots.
Who's going to be leaving at the end of the season, probably.
Maybe they said that he kind of wants to stay there. He's from there. Either way, the idea of Josh Allen being an MVP player, I think, is overstated this year, and I would expect him over his career to fall back to earth and be more of a very good quarterback, not the quarterback you saw. So my point, that being said, is if the Patriots go out, if Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback next year, and you have a Jonnu Smith or Hunter Henry at tight end and a serviceable receiving core with one or two linebackers, if Hightower comes back, one or two linebackers who can play the position, then I think you're fighting for the division. And I honestly, as bad as this has looked, I don't think you're that far away, purely on, honestly, the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, because I think he's the guy that is most closely tied to the Patriots and can immediately secure your quarterback room.
The rumors are out there.
Obviously, the injury concern is the injury concern, but he is brought a team, went to a Super Bowl with a team. He's a very, very fucking good quarterback, knows the system. Obviously, we know Bill loves him, and it seems like San Francisco is moving on. We know that partnership between Bill Belichick and John Lynch happened before. He gave Garoppolo up for pennies on the dollar. I would not be surprised if there have already been several phone calls to maybe reciprocate in some way, in some form. So that's why I have that type of I have the somewhat confidence moving into next year. And Miami is a fraud. Miami is a fraud. Yeah, it's a fraud team. They'll be back in the bottom of the league in 3 years.
There's some indication today that San Francisco is ready to move on too. The reports came out that basically said if they have any better option, Garoppolo's gone, and they might already have it with Nick Mullins, who's played very well for them. They get a healthy team around him next year. They could win with Nick Mullins. Or who's it? CJ Beathard is the other guy. I mean, they're serviceable.
CJ Beathard,
they're serviceable there. And if they don't trust Garoppolo, especially at that price it's going to cost them next year, because if you start picking up his contract moving forward, I think you get more guaranteed money that you have to pay, because then you got the rest of that contract to kick in. This was the out year. It's not worked. You can't stay on the field.
And don't forget that was a John Lynch signing because it was too good to turn down. That was not Kyle Shanahan's number one pick. Even though for whatever reason it wasn't. It's never been Kyle Shanahan's guy, and you could see that in their Super Bowl run, he didn't trust him.
Well, especially if Matt Ryan's available. Shanahan made Matt Ryan a fucking MVP. And if people right now will value Matt Ryan over Jimmy Garoppolo, especially back with Kyle Shanahan, and that would be easily, if Atlanta wants to dump him, easily good landing spot there. And Garoppolo would easily fit right back into the Patriots mold. And I think I would love that, truthfully.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I mean, a lot of things can happen. I am a little bit hopeful on that front. As little hope as I have had in this season and in Belichick, I am hopeful on the quarterback front because I think there are a couple things that can move. But it's a tight fucking window there that Belichick's got to make happen. Ray, where do you stand on the Patriots moving forward, AFC East and playoffs next year?
If Buffalo does what I think they're going to do, go to the Super Bowl this year, I think we're going to be one of those teams that is always fighting for the wild card every year. So, they're going to be a wild card team or bust coming up for probably the next 2 to 3 years until Buffalo actually settles back down and becomes that loser franchise that we all know that they are. But, for right now, Buffalo's the team to beat.
Is Sean McDermott for real?
Yeah.
He's turned that shit around, man. He's turned that around, and they're actually respectable right now. So,
The culture. I mean, he did well in Carolina. He was the defensive coordinator in Carolina. He's built that defense. Last year they had the number 2 defense technically, but they were much better than the Patriots. When Tre'Davious White's healthy, he's the top 3-4 cornerback in the league. Last year some said he was better than Gilmore. Probably was. Could have easily won Defensive Player of the Year. That defense is really good. And then Daboll with that offense, I mean, they're clicking. They're putting Josh Allen in good positions. I mean, they're well coached. They're a very well coached team, and they love playing for him. So I mean, he's for real in my book. He's probably top 5 coach in the AFC right now.
Yeah, I asked the question because what is for real in the NFL, and what does that spell out on the field?
His product on the field spells.
We know that a coach like Pete Carroll, guys with track records, Pete Carroll, Andy Reid. Kind of the list fucking stops there, honestly. Those guys are for real. And when they have a quarterback, their programs are for real. But they have never duplicated the success of Bill Belichick and the length of it. So I still, as much as Belichick has really disappointed me this year, I still go, I don't know. Give Bill $60 million and a full off season, and they're gonna hopefully figure out your quarterback position. They're gonna push that team. And if that team is pushed in division, let's see what happens. Because up until now,
What are you laughing at?
Welcome to the tie, Richard. Welcome to the
God.
tie.
this has been the Simple Minds Sports Show, Fat Tuesday edition. Good riddance, New England Patriots 2020. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye-bye.
One more quick thing, too.
Bye-bye.